Hey man, just giving you a quick call. I just wanted to let you know that you are so close, dude. You're so much closer than you think. A lot of these big goals that we've had and these big aspirations, they're right around the corner for you, dude. So you just cannot give up. So stoked for you to see this. P.S. We bought a Lambo. So keep going, bro. We'll talk soon. Peace.
Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Bryson. This is the Bryson Everyday Project podcast. This podcast is a little bit different than other ones out there. Here, I only focus on documentation. I don't focus on quality or being professional or being entertaining. If that sounds like something you're interested in, I'd love for you to stick around and give the show a listen. You can also follow me on Instagram at BRQUSE. Thank you so much. Here's the show. All right, what's going on? Merry Christmas. Today is Thursday, December 25th, 2025. It's 10:44, so nothing new here. It's going to be another light one. So it's probably going to be another short one. I think the last few episodes have been under 10 minutes each. Let me check real quick. Pull it up on my phone. So yesterday's was 16 minutes. 796 was 3 minutes. 795 was 5 minutes. Oh, and then I had the little back-to-back hour-long ones. So I guess... Well, what is this?
Or Alejandro.
One, respond fast, which...
Oh, that's a mean call. Oh, yeah, so there's... I mean, I guess if you're listening to this show, you probably will have already heard 795, but I don't think I'm going to put that in there. It's about an hour long, and we didn't really talk about much of anything other than just trying to be better coaches for me and his clients. And I play no part into that. I only build systems in the back end. So anyway, so it was Christmas. Merry Christmas. Woke up this morning and it was my first Christmas. Last year, I woke up on Christmas by myself. I was at my old townhome in Layton. And that was probably my first Christmas not with anybody. But this was my first Christmas actually celebrating Christmas without my mom. And so I guess that's just what happens when you grow up. Because every Christmas before this, it was always doing something with my mom, celebrating in the morning, sleeping over, whatever. And I'm actually glad that I did this. So when I realized that this probably could be the last time that I have a Christmas at my mom's house. So what she has us do, it's always been tradition, is me and my little brother will wake up and we'll sit at the top of the stairs while my mom goes downstairs and checks what Santa brought or whatever, or just sees what was under the tree, and also brings her camera to take photos and to see our reactions and stuff like that. So that's always been how Christmas morning has always been my whole life. And I remember thinking when I was at my mom's house 2 years ago or 3 years, whenever it was. And I remember thinking, holy shit, this is probably the last time this is ever going to happen. And that actually made me really emotional. And for a few times afterward, every time I would be sitting at the top of my stairs or getting my shoes on or something like that, whatever, and I'd be sitting on the stairs, I would always just think of that. And I would look down the steps and I would think, holy shit, I'm never going to get to do that again. And for me, it has nothing to do with the steps or whatever. It has everything to do with the meaning and the sentiment that my mom has created and the magic that has been formed around Christmas, you know? And I'm really glad that I thought far enough ahead to predict, or maybe not predict, but just think that this could be the last, because it was the last. And I'm not saying it'll never happen again, but the likelihood that it does is very slim. So, because I live with Lexi now and I love her so much and things are going great. So probably going to be doing our own thing, you know, and I think moral of the story with what I'm trying to say here is I'm very glad that I really took that in when I did believe it was the last time, because I feel like I have closure in some sense with that. I'm not saying, oh man, I never get to do that again. I had no idea it was my last, you know, because that happens a lot. Your last of whatever happens and you don't even realize. And I do remember talking about this early on in the show, and I do believe that one of the best things that I learned so young would be that I know that not everything lasts forever. Everything must come to an end. All the good stuff, all the bad stuff. You know, I think it's maybe what the Bible would say, this too shall pass, right? And I think maybe I just learned that when I was in college, going to UVU, and just having the time of my life, and then all of a sudden it ended. Just like that. I would laugh my ass off every single night. We'd play Monopoly multiple times a day, and I was hitting the gym at 2 a.m. because that's what my schedule allowed. I was laughing my ass off in class. I was laughing so much at work, and I was making, I don't know, $12 an hour, just having a good time. And life was so good, and it was just full of joy. And then all of a sudden it ended, and that was it. That was, moved back home, things changed. Everything, it was never the same after that, obviously, I mean, for so many reasons. And I think ever since then, I just have always thought, this is not going to last forever. It's okay. And, when something's good, it sucks. Bummer, this is not going to last forever. But when something's bad, I guess it's reassuring. So, but yeah, I think that is one of the most valuable things that I think I've been able to extract out of life, or maybe my own personal philosophy, or whatever you want to call it. Just whatever you're experiencing and going through, it's probably not going to last for much longer. And so if it's a good thing, really take it in, soak it up, embrace it, but have a good time with it. And if it's a bad thing, just remember, it's not going to last forever. It might last a lot longer than you want it to, but it won't last forever. And I ultimately believe that you are in control of your perspective on things and your attitude and your behavior and things like that, So, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to even dive deep into that. I just believe that we have so much choice and freedom and liberty in this life to do whatever, and to believe whatever, and to choose whatever, and to act however, and to think and see and however we want to. But we just let these outside things dictate how that happens. If somebody cuts me off in traffic and, I don't know, I'm late for work or whatever, I don't have to be upset about that. I can be stoked about it because maybe a guy cut me off and he was driving a car that I liked and it was good. I don't know. You can really pull anything any which way you want. You can sculpt your perspective. You can sculpt how you perceive life any which way you want. So why wouldn't you choose to sculpt it in a way that benefits you and is useful for you? I don't know. Just thinking. So anyway, woke up with Lexi. We did our little Christmas downstairs. It was very, I don't know what the word is, very simple. We just woke up, went downstairs, and we opened our gifts that we got for one another. We made each other little socks, and we got matching socks. So hers is a white sock with a red A. Mine is a red sock with a white B. And I think it's probably the most common sock in 2025 right now. But yeah, we did that, exchanged gifts, and then we got ready, went to my grandma's house. It's a family tradition. Probably talked about it the last 2 Christmas episodes. So this is my 3rd Christmas episode, actually. So just for documentation purposes, let's actually see when that was. So it's probably episode 100-ish? Nope. Episode 67. It's called Christmas, Working, Not Bullshitting. Okay, I just exited out of the whole thing. Instantly pissed. So we got to scroll all the way back down. Oh my hell. Okay, here we go. Found it. 67. So episode 67 is the first Christmas episode. What the fuck is the name of this show? Working, Not Bullshitting, Start Now. What was I talking about?
All right, just...
Hold on.
Yo, welcome back. It's episode 67, and it's Christmas, dude. Merry Christmas if you're listening. Merry fucking Christmas to you and your family. Today's a great day. Got to spend it with my family. Got to see everybody in one spot, almost everybody. Ate a lot of good food, had a great breakfast, everything. It was great. It was good to see my mom, spend the night at her house. It was a good time.
Wow. I was just talking about
Beautiful
that.
day. I got to just spend time with loved ones, man. It was a really good one, much needed. And it was I guess nice to let loose, but in the same breath, I'm so, after doing phase 1 pretty much for 2 months straight, and then having a day like yesterday and a day like today where I didn't do anything, I feel so fucking terrible about everything.
Okay, we're going to pause there. I need to get back to that feeling. I need to get back to that ASAP. That's what I need to do. Oh, man. the way that I started that off, you know? See, I feel like I'm almost going backward. I don't know, that's just how I see it, but we won't get into that. So anyway, so that was 67. And then if we go ahead, so it should be about 412 or something. Doing math in my head, that would be 86. What the fuck? Oh, Allegiant Excellence, number 6. Holy shit. Okay, so episode 433, Mary Chrysler. How did I start this one?
What's going on, guys? Today is December 25th, 2024. It's 8:06 a.m. Merry Christmas, dude. Merry Christmas. Today was... Okay, I want to preface this with I don't care about this shit, but it's an observation, and I want to share it. And when I say I don't care about this shit, I mean that from the bottom of my heart. It's not a big deal for me. It's not a flex. It's not like, well, I'm hard, I'm this, I'm whatever. What I'm saying...
Hard as in boner?
Clarify for somebody who's listening who's like, oh, he thinks he's tough because you... So today was the first day, the first year, I guess, where I woke up on Christmas completely alone, not with family.
Man, the quality of that mic is nice, huh? Maybe I should resort back to that. I need to revisit these episodes more. There's a lot of reflection that I can do in these episodes. That's crazy. Well, that was 433. And now here we are on 798, which is crazy. We're about to be in the 800s. So, anyway, cool stuff. Merry Christmas. I don't even know what I was talking about before this, but yeah, I spent the time with my grandparents and my whole family. We were all in one spot. Talked about it yesterday, but I made this game up and I put it out into the family, and it was fun. And I think that I learned a lot from how everybody took the game and reacted with the game. It was a lot of fun, and then I think it was actually a lot going on. So we decided to pause it while we did other things, and we actually just stopped playing altogether. But it did last maybe half the time, which is fun. And if you want to know what the game was, just listen to yesterday's show. Just some silly game where you have a team color. That's your team. You got to only do certain things. But anyway, so that happened. That was pretty cool. Got some compliments on that. That made me feel good. I made a family bingo. So it would just be an observation. So when someone says Godfrey, so that's what my family says. I don't know what the fuck that is, because we don't want to say God. We don't say the Lord's name in vain. We say Godfrey. So that's better or worse? Apparently it's better. So when someone says that, you mark it off. You know, it's kind of like when you say B14, you mark it off, right? It's bingo. Someone says they ate too much. Someone spills food or drink. Someone says some form of, it's hot as shit in here, open the door. Someone quotes the Elf movie. Someone asks what someone got for Christmas. Someone starts eating before the prayer. Someone asks where someone is. Someone quotes Home Alone. Someone talks about poop. Someone asks if someone had to work today. Has to work today. Someone requests that music is played. Someone screams someone else's name. Somebody pisses Rudy off. That's a dog. And he starts showing teeth. You know, all this stuff. So a lot of people played that, which is cool. And I got to be honest, after making this and then distributing it out to the family, I had no interest in playing bingo. It was just so much fun to watch everybody else play something that I guess came from my head, because you know this is all in my brain. And I thought, how can I just make something kind of fun? Because my family does a good job of always trying to play games and have a good time, but I feel like we get in the habit of playing the same shit, and it's just I don't know. It's just my observation. So I was just thinking of how I could just add some kind of flair to this and spice it up, do something different, and came up with this. So it was a family bingo, and all the stuff on the bingo card happened almost immediately because my family was just fucking all over the place. And so that's something that I can learn from for next year or whenever the next holiday is, you know. I mean, this doesn't even have to be a Christmas thing. It could be a whatever thing. It could be bingo cards for any get together. So I don't know. I don't know. And then for this other game where you have the 3 different teams, that was fun. But I don't know. So there's 3 teams. One of the team's rules is when you refer to somebody, you can't say their name. You have to say elf girl or elf boy or whatever their relation is. So auntie elf, uncle elf, mama elf, papa elf, cousin elf, buddy elf. And then for any animal, it would be any reindeer name. And then there's another team that before they could speak, they had to say one of the following: ho, 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 Merry Christmas, jingle bells, kiss my ass, kiss his ass, kiss your ass. One of those. And if you don't get the reference, I don't have to tell you. And then the yellow team is every time they laughed, they had to say, "That's jolly," or some form of that. Every time they coughed, they had to say, candy cane dust will do that to you. And if they sneezed, they'd have to say some form of, "Those goddammit elves." And the rules are, everybody on your team that has the same rules, you can save them if they fuck up by saying fa la la la, and then they have to say la 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 la, and then they're back in. And if you catch somebody on the other team fucking up, then you say naughty, like naughty list, and then they're out. And then you want to be the team with the most people surviving or whatever at the very end. So that was the idea. That was the whole game. There was some success with it, and I think that my family just has so much shit going on, and we're all on tight schedules, so we're all trying to bust so much of what we're trying to do out, and it's tough. And then I put in very, very fine print at the very bottom, and I don't give a fuck if I get canceled for this, but this family might be too retarded to play this game, which is the point. If it makes one person laugh, it was worth it. Amen. And I mean that. My family is all over the goddamn place. So, anyway. And then we went over to my mom's house. Usually that happens in the morning, but that happened after my grandma's. So we went over to my mom's, watched the Polar Express, ate some food, and had some dessert. And I was, oh shit, I haven't done that in a minute. And then that was pretty much the night. Then Lexi and I came home. We had a nice heart-to-heart conversation about a lot of stuff, and it was wonderful. I love her so much. And that concludes the night. And then now it's 11 o'clock, and now it's time to go to bed. So that is the show. As far as work goes, I didn't touch work at all. Thought about it a lot, but I didn't touch it. I didn't do anything with Mina. I didn't do anything with Trey. This is the first time I've actually been on my laptop all day long. So, yeah, that concludes Christmas. I'm glad I reflected on the earlier episodes. I want to get back on that. I want to feel good about stuff again, you know? Essentially doing phase 1 twice. I forgot that I actually failed that. I forgot about that. I failed phase 1 on day 25 or something. And I had to redo it. I totally forgot about that. Well, anyway, I got to get back to that. I need to push myself to get back to that level, because life might have been more disciplined and, quote, less fun. But I felt really good about everything always. Just knowing that I was in control of everything. I was lifting and all, you know. So I got to get back to that 100%. And I will. So, anyway, so tomorrow would be Friday. Why did I think it was Monday? It's crazy. So tomorrow's Friday. I'm probably just going to work on the app. Nothing crazy there. Get everything set up I need to actually work on a lot of stuff with security things, just to make sure that, you know, passwords and things like that are not visible, they're encrypted, all that stuff. Make sure everything, just kind of go up and down the list making sure that everything with security is taken care of. Because if I ask Cursor to go through my system, find everything that is a risk or an issue with security or any kind of validation or authentication or whatever, I did it one time and it had 20 things that should be improved, and there was 2 things that were critical, 10 things that need to be improved, and then a few things that were not that important but should be considered. So I'm going to go through that and review them, get them updated, and then I think from there I'll get the shit on the App Store for testing purposes, and then I made a form that goes out and people can give me their email so that I can invite them, and then from there I'll start the testing stuff, and I'll probably start using the app myself seriously, and that's pretty exciting stuff. So it'll be an actual app that I use, that I am building. So there's a lot of cool stuff coming down the pipeline. I really, like I've said before, I really think this is a good call for me long term as a personal branding move, because it's something I can always talk about. I can always share my story. It's if that's going to be how I live my life, you know, trying to push myself, I guess, a lot harder than the average person would. I mean, if I'm trying to do what I would call, so I can't remember if I talked about this, but, you know, we have a task or a commitment or a mission where you adhere to something or abstain from something. And then you have a blade, which is a bundle of commitments and omissions combined. You adhere to that for a certain amount of time. And it's 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 74 days, 90. I almost said 90-10, so that's good. 99 days, 112 days, whatever it is. And then you complete a blade. And then I was thinking about these things called blitzes, something like that, or a reaper. And the blitz would be a blade, but it is much more difficult than a blade, but it is much less the time. So for example, if a blade, so think of 75 hard, because that is a blade. If that is 75 days, and those are the rules. So if you don't know what 75 hard is, I don't even want to explain it right now. But if that was your blade for 75 days, then you would make a blitz out of that for maybe 2 weeks, where for those 2 weeks, you're doing 3 workouts, and you're reading 20 pages, and you're drinking 2 gallons of water. Now, this is just an example to paint the picture. I probably would never have somebody drink 2 gallons of water, and I don't think anybody should. It's a lot of water. I mean, people already cry and whine over a gallon. So anyway, a little disclaimer, don't listen to anything I ever say. Everything I say is a lie, it's bullshit, and everything that I suggest or advise on is a lie, and you should always consult your doctor before anything. Thank you so much for listening to the show. So that would be a blitz, so for a progress photo and pages and no drugs, no follow a diet, whatever, Maybe that's a bad example. I think what I had in mind was the blitz would be just a very difficult version of the blade, but it would only be much less of the time. I don't even know how to say that. Just a fraction of the time. And I don't know how that would work, but I did have the idea of a reaper. Now, a reaper would be something that you do that is objectively, insane. It's lunatic, some psychotic shit. Now, what I mean is there's things that really challenge you mentally, where you go for a walk, but the walk is a 16-hour walk, and you're not allowed to sit down. You're not allowed to take a break. You just, whatever you got to do, you just got to keep standing up and keep walking. So, if you want to eat, pack some food. If you want to drink some water, make sure you have a gallon, things like that. And that would be considered a reaper. Or something like do 1,000 push-ups, 1,000 squats, 1,000 pull. That's fucking crazy. But do that in one day. That's your reaper. You have to do it in a whole day. Or maybe it's something crazy like run 100 miles. I don't know. Just some brutal shit that is more mental than anything. I mean, there's nothing hard about doing a push-up, but when you do 1,000 of them, that's tough. I mean, 1,000 in a waking day was 16 hours. Maybe even you could probably just say 18 hours. Siri, what's 1,000 divided by 18? Hey, Siri, what's 1,000 divided by 18?
It's approximately 55.5555.
See, so you'd only have to do 55 push-ups, pull-ups, and squats per hour to meet this goal. So with that in mind, that's actually pretty simple, right? Just do 55 an hour. So you only have to do 20 every half hour, so you only have to do 10 every 15 minutes. I mean, I could probably do 10 squats right now in 10 seconds. I could probably do 10 push-ups in 10 seconds. I could probably do 10 pull-ups in 20 seconds. So I'm good for the next 15, So there's nothing difficult about that. It's just staying consistent and doing that for the whole fucking day. That's insane, things like that. And the idea, obviously, with the whole app is that you do shit that really pushes yourself. And then you get awarded some kind of symbol or the rights within the app or within, can download something, kind of like a certification or an award that has your name, the completion date, that you can then share to social media as a way to showcase what you accomplished. And shit, I don't know, if you have some kind of coaching business, you can use that for what you're doing, what you're trying to advertise and promote, your lifestyle, whatever. So, and I'm all about this stuff. I think that stuff is cool. When I come across people who have a whole fireplace full of trophies and awards and medals, there's something about that to me that just is so cool to me. So if I can create a virtual system, I guess, for that, then I think I'd like to do that, because that stuff's cool to me. I mean, I've never gotten any kind of trophies or awards in my entire life other than my first fitness competition. And those trophies mean a lot to me. They're very cool. It's the only awards that I have. It's the only real tangible trophies and things that I've been awarded for doing something that I recall being hard. And I cherish those. They're very cool. So I just want to be able to provide that to other people who maybe are the same way. That's actually a big thing for me. I never got shit growing up because I never tried. And, learning lesson right there. But yeah, man, I'm just reflecting hard right now. I think the reason why I never did any sports or activities or whatever, or anything like that, is because if I didn't try, that means I couldn't fail. And if I didn't fail, that means I didn't have to face that. And so it was just easier to not try rather than to try and then fail. It's interesting. Wow. I think I'm a little pussy. I got to fix that. Anyway, that's what the app is for. So that would be a Reaper. And then I like that a lot because it's just, I think Reaper and Blade, I think that flows. So I'd have to come up with different Reapers. But I like the idea of I have to do them first before I put them out there. But also I can't just be, I don't know. There's so many thoughts because it would take, for example, if I do a Blade every 90 days and it's 90 days long, it would take me a full year to put up 4 blades. I'm trying to start the app with 20 to choose from, so might have to have not completed all of them, but I don't know. But I'll figure this out as I go. Either way, I'm gonna be doing my best to live a lifestyle of the Blade as much as I can, and then promote this, make some coin. So anyway, that's the show. That's what I'll be doing tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, and so on. So anyway, thank you guys for listening. Merry Christmas. Hope you had a great holiday. Spend it with your loved ones. You had a good time. So that's it for today. Merry Christmas. Today's Thursday, December 25th, 2025, 11:10 p.m. Peace.